Hello, welcome to my channel where I talk mostly about watercolour painting. So in today's video we're gonna look at how I created this really simple minimalist landscape. Okay, so I'm going to use my 250 GSM Hahnemühle sketchbook for this. This sketchbook comes in 200 and 250 and I realised that I've done some of my favourite sketchbook paintings in this book. So I do think that the heavier weight sketchbook does just feel that little bit thicker and the pages tend to buckle a little bit less, so it can be worth spending the extra money. But I have also used the 200 GSM book and that's also fine. I'll put a link to both of them in the description. So I've laid down some cobalt blue with some burnt sienna and I'm just blending that up into the sky. And I quite often find this strategy of putting two different colours in the sky works quite well. That just sort of activates the sky and makes it look a little bit more interesting. And now obviously the paper's still wet, so I'm working wet in wet and I'm laying down some darker paint there at the horizon. That is Paynes grey with phthalo blue, and then again I'm using my brush to lift that up into the sky. I really want to try and get quite a dark line at the horizon, so here I'm just putting pure Paynes grey, and you'll notice that I'm not going over. Once I get the paint down, I don't go over it too many times. I am letting the paint move around as it wants to. I just put a little bit more of the burnt sienna there on the left, but I'm going to take the tape off this layer now. I think it's really more or less done. I can always come back to it, and luckily none of that paint has escaped under the tape. I just got a little bit of a splodge of paint on there, so I'm just lifting it off with pure water. And now I'm going to do the lower section, and I'm putting my low tack tape on and I'm leaving a little bit of a white line. And I just did a test here with my colours. I'm actually going to be mixing the burnt sienna with phthalo blue, and that's going to make quite a sort of deep green colour. Now I don't often use green in my paintings, but I thought it would be fun to try it out. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and leave a little bit of that phthalo blue showing at the bottom. It's quite a strong colour, so I do really love phthalo blue, but I do like to mix it with other colours as well. And I actually find that when you mix it with Paynes grey, that makes a really nice dark blue colour. But like I said, I have added the burnt sienna as well this time, so I am getting a very sort of dark green colour. And again, I'm going towards the middle of the painting. I'm going darker. I want to get this kind of gradiated wash. And I'm going to make it really, really dark at the horizon line. So I'm putting down a very sort of thick amount of Paynes grey with hardly any water in it at all. So that's keeping this area really dark, and it's also making sure that I'm not introducing more watery paint, which would give me a bloom, and in this case I don't want a bloom. So this section is basically done. I am getting a little bit of feathering here, which often happens with wet and wet, and I'm actually using the end of my brush to just blend that paint and move it around a little bit. If you use the brush, which you can, there is a danger of it sucking up some of the paint or introducing water, so I do often use the end of the brush in these kinds of cases. So this is done. I'm taking the tape off. I did speed that up a little bit, but I did do it very carefully. And now I think the top part really needs to have a bit of a darker line at the horizon, so I'm going to work on this top part again, and I'm just carefully putting the tape there on the top of the white line, and I'm just wetting it because I'm going to be doing wet and wet again. And I'm putting down my burnt sienna, and then I'm going to be putting the darker colours towards the horizon again, and I introduce a little bit of that green colour as well, just to harmonise it with the bottom of the painting. I'm just going to put the music up while I finish this painting off, and then I'll jump in again at the end. Okay, so this is basically finished, and what I'm doing here is I'm just sucking up some of that watery paint that's gone on along the edge, and that does sometimes happen when you put tape down and you're using a wet and wet technique. And you'll see a bit later that some of that paint has collected along the edge of the tape, and that's something you just want to try and avoid and keep an eye on. But I'm carefully pulling this tape off, and it is very low tack, so it hasn't pulled any of the paper off, which is great. A lot of people ask me what the brand of this tape is, and I don't have an answer for that because I just buy it in a local shop in Spain. But it is very low tack, and a trick that you can use with your tape is to just place it on your jeans or some kind of material and then lift it off, and that just takes some of the stickiness away. I think a technique like this is a really good one for practicing your watercolour skills, and you could swap in some of the colours. I think it's a really good idea to keep your colour palette to a minimum, like I've done here. I've just used 4 colours, and what I'm doing now is I'm trying to lift off some of that paint that collected along the line of that tape. It would have been better to have lifted it off as it was collecting there, so that's just something to keep an eye on. Okay, so like I said, I think these kind of minimalist paintings are a fantastic way of practicing your watercolour, and you can also end up with a really nice painting at the end. Now, I do have a whole course on this, and it's called Minimalist Watercolour Landscapes and Beyond, and it's pre-recorded, so you can go at your own pace and you can repeat the modules as often as you like. So in the course, we look at several different ways of creating minimalist watercolour landscapes. And when you do these, you use a variety of different techniques, so it's a fantastic way of learning new techniques or improving the skills that you already have. So it is a relatively short course because I wanted it to feel manageable, but at the same time we cover a lot of different techniques and approaches. And in the end, we do a really fun sketchbook session, which is designed to sort of free you up and to generate more ideas for paintings. So if you're interested in that, then check out the link in the description. But I really hope that you've enjoyed this demonstration, and if you did, please hit like, and if you'd like to see similar videos in the future, then please consider subscribing to my channel. Okay, thank you, bye.